Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me for this yoga practice for Aries season. We're going to go ahead and get started today seated on the mat. So join me here and we'll get started. I'd like to remind you to always listen to your body first and foremost, and feel free to make this practice your own. I'll offer modifications to help you out as we move along. And for this first pose, if you feel more comfortable and supported, starting with a pillow under the glutes here to help lift you up off the ground, go ahead and take that modification if you need it. And then I invite you to settle into your seat here, draw the eyes closed if you're comfortable with that. And take a moment to just let go of the day, let go of your surroundings, and come into your body, into this space. Tap into breath here. If you're able, seal the lips, and let's begin cultivating a little bit of a wu jia yi breath, warming ourself from the inside. Aries season is all about new beginnings and growth. It marks the beginning of the astrological season. And a mantra that I can offer you for your practice is I am Aries. This is the energy it is bringing us. I am. And I invite you to take an intention into your practice today about where you want to find growth in your life, in yourself. And carry that through today's practice if you find resonance with that. Okay, go ahead, drop the chin to chest, let the shoulders gently round down, and we'll just relax. So keeping with this theme here of growth, new beginnings, as you're taking this practice, it might even be showing that spring is on its way. We're going to take a deep breath here, and I want you to straighten the spine and think of unfurling like a seed growing up from the tailbone. So if you've already moved into this unfurling, slow down a little bit. Come back here to our starting position, and we're going to take this slow. I want you to take a deep breath and stack the vertebrae. Thinking about a seed bursting forth, germinating. It doesn't burst out quickly. It rises slowly, eventually unfurling, and we will lengthen and lift the spine. In this seated position, try to draw your tailbone down to the earth and notice how that might gently lift the front of your hips. Not so much that we start rounding the spine out to the back, but just enough to turn on the core, right? And turn on these low abdominal muscles. Let the legs relax. Draw the navel in and up, okay? Continuing, lengthening the spine to the sky. Okay, squeeze the shoulder blades gently together and allow the shoulders to draw away from the ears. Good. Push the crown high to the sky. Deep breaths here through the nose. Each breath lengthening the spine. And each exhalation reaffirming your intention, whatever that is you're setting for yourself for your practice today. And I'd like to open with a little bit of breath work. Today's practice is going to be strong And we are going to really try to embody that warrior spirit that is offered to us by Aries season. So this practice could be taken anytime you want a strong practice, but is intended to be done throughout the Aries season to really affirm and utilize the energies that are offered to us at this time of the year. So we're going to move into a breath exercise. As I said, this is breath of fire, or you may know this as bellows breath. Listen to your body in this exercise. If you start to feel lightheaded at all, go ahead and just release the breath exercise and come back into normal breathing. And we'll take 2 rounds. It's a swift breath. If you are potentially prone to high blood pressure or severe anxiety, then I would say go ahead and skip this next step and just continue thinking about growing and lengthening and really holding yourself in this upright, strong position. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and take 2 rounds of our bellows breath. So let's start off here just collecting big energy, big breath. Circle the arms up and overhead. Slide the shoulder blades down the body. Create space around the ears and the neck here. Inhale and then exhale, hands to heart center. You can keep your hands here if you'd like at heart center, kind of pressing with a little bit of tension. Or if you're newer to this exercise, you might find it to be helpful to place your hand, one hand on the belly, and you could place the other hand on the heart for a little more, just for some comfort. But on the belly, this can help us really get into the body. If you're not used to diaphragmatic breathing, this can help you really become aware of where that breath is coming from. So we're going to take a deep breath, and then it's going to be a forceful exhale using the diaphragm. So you're going to draw that navel towards the spine, okay? Big breath, and exhale. We're going to do that for a round of about 30 seconds. We'll take a break, and then if you're feeling up for it, we'll do another round of 30 seconds. So when you're ready, deep breath, and begin. And release. Take your final exhale. Notice how you feel. Maybe drop chin to chest. Deep breaths here. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, go ahead and sit this next round out. If you're feeling up for it, we're going to take another round of the same. So if you didn't quite get it that first time, this is a great time to try it again. Really turning on that fire inside the belly. All right, inhale, deep breath, hands up overhead. Exhale, bring them back to heart center. Again, or here to one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, whatever you'd like. And then deep breath, and begin. And go ahead and release your breath here. Drop the chin to chest. Notice how you feel. Deep breaths. Good. And if you're feeling, again, comfortable with it, seal the lips, and we'll continue breathing through the nostrils for our Ujjayi breath. This is going to continue raising that internal heat to light the fires within us. We're going to transition from here into all fours. So go ahead and join me now in this shape. Take a deep breath and really try to find that flat, stable back here. Draw the navel in and up to the core. Support yourself here. straight spine all the way through the neck. Don't let your head droop. And then we're going to want to be mindful of what I like to think about as like the stack of the joints. So when you're in some different shapes today, we want to usually have our, joints, shoulder, elbow, wrist stacked up. Here, knee and hip are stacked. And we'll refer sort of back to that later as we move through practice. Let's go ahead and take some cat-cow here. So we'll take a deep breath, drop the belly, lift the chin. Exhale, round the back. Feel free to make this your own. It could be a traditional cat-cow, or go ahead and add a little sway into this movement. I invite you also to take a little bit of movement laterally, looking over one shoulder and then the other, getting a little flexion through the spine. Keep those breaths coming strong, deep and steady. Good, and then we're going to get right into some more of these, right into the practice today, right? We've got a very short warm-up here. Get into your down dog shape. And remember as we move through practice that everyone's shapes will look a little different. And again, listen to your body. Feel what you need. In your down dog, though, however, I invite you to lift the heels, bend the knees, and we want to try to point the elbows behind us. So if your elbows are rounding out to point left and right, really dial them back to point behind you. This is going to turn on your lats and support you in this shape. Thumbs point towards each other, fingers point ahead. And we're going to bow the heart to the mat, lift the hips high, deep inversion, lengthening the spine. This is a good stretch for the back body and a good way to get some blood flowing in different directions. All right, deep breath here. Right leg lifts high. Keep those toes dialed down. Keep the hips stable and equal weight in both hands. Exhale, step it. We're going to come into a kneeling lunge here. Toes can be uncurled or not, whatever feels good for you. And just take a moment here. Enjoy this stretching in the hip flexor and quad. Deep breath. Look forward. Good. One more inhale. We're going to lift up here into a kneeling warrior one. Hands go high. Exhale. Let the hands come back behind the tailbone. Clasp them. And then go ahead and push them down. Lift the chin. Keep the core engaged here and try not to spill forward through the guts. We want to use that support system. Good. Inhale, lift the hands high. Exhale, paint them slowly all the way down with control back to the earth. Good. From here, we're going to shift into a kneeling half splits. So again, think about the stack. Hip and knee are stacked on the left side. And we're going to straighten out this right leg as much as we're able to. I like to try to point the toes high to the sky. We all are aiming for a stretch along the back of the leg, and most of us are very tight in the hamstrings. So pointing those toes up can really help deepen the stretch here. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to bow the head towards the knee as deep as we can. Again, listen to your body, and then try to pull that right hip into socket. So just think about gently tugging to kind of back on that hip. Not so much that we're losing the stack though, so please be mindful of your postures. Notice that as you stay here, maybe the head bows a little closer to the knee. Each exhale, letting a little more release. Good. Deep breath. We're going to inhale to come back out of this shape. Bring this right foot back flat. And then we're going to lift this rear leg. And we're going to open up to the right here. Big twist. And then exhale, windmill that arm down, step back, find your plank. Hold your plank here. You can always bring knees down, but either way, we want to try to still have a straight spine. So we want to try not to be curling or bowing down here. And then we're just going to shift right back into a down dog. Okay, warming up those arms a little bit. Check those elbows. Deep breath here, settle into this inversion. Good. Inhale, left leg comes high. Again, dial those toes down, even through the hips and even through the shoulders. Good. Exhale, step forward. We'll come to a kneeling lunge on the other side. Deep breath. Inhale, look forward. And then we'll take another deep breath and rise up into our kneeling warrior one. Again, check your core. Find support and lift. Exhale, hands to the tailbone, and let's try to clasp opposite hands on top. So notice whatever your naturally went to, go ahead and try to flip it. Push those fists down. See if you can look up. Good, big breath, reach high. Exhale with control, come back to hands on the mat. And then another exhale here, we'll shift back into our kneeling half splits. Mindful of this right knee, the stack of the hip. Straighten this left leg, see if we can point those toes. Look forward first here, folks. And then we're going to exhale to bow. Gently tug this left hip back to emphasize the stretching along the back of this leg. And see if we can just let the shoulders and the head bow down. If I wish I would have mentioned on the other side, however, you can bring hands under, blocks under the hands here. I don't have blocks handy right now, but you could have a block under each hand if you're not able to make this deep stretch. So I'd like to offer that to you if you need to modify. Go ahead and pause the video and maybe even try the stretch with blocks if you feel that's something you need. And you can always use like books or something. It doesn't have to be fancy yoga blocks. Okay, folks, we're going to come back out of this splits here. We're going to plant the right hand and we're going to twist open. Again, squeeze the shoulder blades. Try to get straight line through the arms. If you can only come down here, that's totally fine. Just reach as high as you can. Exhale, windmill that arm down. Step back, find your plank. Remember, folks, knees down or not. Good. And then we're going to exhale into our down dog. Good. Check your posture here. We're going to stay for a few deep breaths. Melt the heart to the earth. And since we're working with our Aries energy, which is a fire sign, we're going to keep the heat high. So I invite you to take a hop to the top of your mat. If you're not comfortable with hopping, maybe try just baby hops. But I really like them to keep the energy high and warm us up a little bit. So if you'd like to hop, deep bend through the knees, deep breath. Exhale, hop it up. And then we get here, we're just going to hang briefly in a little forward fold. Let's let the spine really lengthen down to the earth. You can clasp opposite elbows here. Let the crown fall to the earth. Bend the knees. You can even widen your stance if you like to do shoulder width apart or even wider. Go for it. And then let's halfway lift. In your halfway lift, you can be all the way up here, hands on the thighs, or you can be hands on the shins. You can always be hands on the earth. Just try to get a flat back. Wherever you are, try to get a flat back. Try to use your core to support you. And then exhale, fold it again. Bend the knees. And from the core, again, slowly, I want you to imagine like a seed pod unfurling, or like a fern unfurling. Grow this from the base of the tailbone. Slow and steady. Rise all the way up again. Head and shoulders rise last. And then we'll continue this with the hands coming all the way up overhead, coming into a nice mountain pose here. Feet can be together or hip width, whatever's comfortable for you. Slide the shoulder blades down the body. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Deep breath, root to rise, bend the knees, reach up and over. Hands to heart center. Good, one more time, root to rise. Exhale, bow this time, fold it down. Halfway lift, wherever you like. And then release. Plant your hands, we're going to step back into a plank. Knees down or not. And I'd like everyone to try to slowly lower. So see if you can slowly lower. Elbows stay pointing behind you. Don't let those elbows splay out. We want to turn on all the muscles we can. From here, we're going to inhale, baby cobra. And then we're going to open up through the shoulders here. So I want you to get your elbows pointed high to the sky. And your fingers will be tented up on the earth. And we're staying in this little cobra. This is a core work here. So we're not supporting ourselves with the hands. We're supporting ourselves with the core. So we should be able to just lift the fingers. And then we're just going to exhale, dip the left shoulder down and the left cheek to the earth. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, dip the right shoulder down and the right cheek. Good. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, back down, hands under the shoulders. Big breath here, push up into plank, on the knees or not. And then come back into a down dog. Good. Deep breath. Check your posture. And then if you'd like, hop to the top or find another way. On your hop, bend the knees and hop on the bottom of your exhale. Good. Halfway lift when you get here. And exhale, release. Root to rise, bend the knees, come all the way up, mountain pose. Reach high and then exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Root to rise one more time, reach high. Exhale, find a chair pose. Feet can be together or hip width here. Look down, make sure you can see your toes. Turn on the core here, hold yourself upright. And then reach the hands up as high as you can. Good, deep breath here, rise up. Bring the right leg with you. So we're coming into one-legged stance. See if you can capture that right shin. Now from here, we're going to continue turning on the core. Push the tailbone towards the earth. It's going to help you here. Push that left leg firmly into the earth. Deep breaths. Good. Now go ahead, release that leg. Try not to look. Trust yourself. Step back. We're going to take a warrior one shape here. So in our warrior one, we want to be on train tracks. Feet are maybe shoulder width apart here. Straighten this right leg. Bend as deeply as you can into the left. Now your warrior one can be here. That's totally fine. It could also be here, a little deeper. Make it your own. Reach your hands high. Wherever you are, it's just important to turn on these inner thighs. Stay strong in the thighs. Keep this rear leg straight. Reach high. Exhale, hands to the tailbone, like we were before. Look up. This time we're going to bow. Try to derive this from the core, keeping the back as straight as we can. And eventually letting it round a little bit here. Push the fist to the sky if you can. Deep breaths. One more deep breath and rise up with control. Slowly unleash the hands. Lift them high to the sky. Good. Exhale. Windmill the arms all the way out, and we're going to come down slow and steady. Plant the hands. Come back into that twist shape here. Closed twist, reaching high to the sky. Windmill that arm down. Plant your hands. Step back. Find plank. From here, we're going to take a few, we'll get into a vinyasa flow. If you like, take it or leave it. For your vinyasa, you can, if you know your vinyasa, go for it. You can do what we did before, come all the way down, or you can come halfway down, find an up dog, and then we'll all meet in down dog. So there's lots of variations you can do. We had 2 already, one with the baby cobra, and now a second one with the up dog. So find your variations as we move through our flows today. And then from here, our down dog, we'll take a deep breath, bend the knees, hop it to the top. Halfway lift, exhale, fold. Bend the knees, root to rise, come all the way up. Reach high, and then exhale, hands to heart center. Root to rise, reach high. Exhale, chair. Deep breaths, check your posture. Can you see your toes? Inhale, reach high, bring the left leg up with you this time. See if you can capture the shin. Firm through that right leg. Pull the core, the navel in and up. Good, release the shin. Trust yourself. Try not to look. Step back. Come into a warrior 1 on this side. Remember, we're on train tracks here with the feet. That just means we're going wide with them, in case that doesn't make sense for y'all. And then we're going to reach high. Exhale, hands clasp at the tailbone. Again, try to notice which hand naturally clasps on top and try to switch. Deep breath, lift the chin, look high. Exhale, bow. Let this drive from the core come down as low as you can. Your bow may not be very deep, and that's okay. See if you can push those fists high. Deep breath. Inhale, rise up. And then we'll release, hands go high. Exhale, come back into this left hand on the earth into a twist here, closed twist. Same as before, windmill this right arm down, plant the hand. Again, vinyasa, take it or leave it. Another option here, of course, is always to be on the knees. You can do all these flows on the knees. And you can always come up into a cobra here. So this is a gentler version of what I did last time around. Just wanting to take care of y'all and give you all options. Come into a down dog from here. Deep breaths. Check your posture here. Check those elbows. Deep breath here. If you're comfortable, take a hop or a step to the top. And get there, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And root to rise, come all the way up. Reach high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. We're going to do that again. Root to rise, reach high. Exhale, chair pose. Good. Deep breath here. And then we're going to reach high again. Right leg comes up. See if we can clasp that shin. If you were not able to clasp hold on the first time, if you were just here hanging out, see if you can this time. That's why we want to come back and check these shapes, working towards growth. Okay, from here, see if you can, without looking, once again, unclasp the shin. This time we're going to step back into a warrior two. So this time we are on one line with the feet, like a tightrope. Heel and arch are in one line. Again, we're turning on these thighs. We want to scissor these thighs towards each other. Keep this right leg straight. Check this knee, this left knee here. Make sure it's not caving in or bowing out. Make sure it's tracking towards the toes. Reach out, squeeze the shoulder blades. Look over your left hand. Good, deep breath. Pull the navel in and up. This is full body awareness here, folks, from toe to head. Good, deep breath. We're going to straighten this left leg and take a reverse triangle. This is a side bend, so we want to feel this along the left side, not a back bend. Good, exhale. We're going to come back into warrior two. Deep breath. Think about the growth that we are inviting through this practice. Bring your thoughts back to that intention. Now we're going to windmill this right arm up and overhead, coming all the way down to bring both hands back to the earth. You want to unpivot on this right foot, and take another twist. Reach high with that left arm, windmill it down, step back, take a plank, take a vinyasa, or leave it, flow here. You decide. And then we'll all meet in a down dog. Good, deep breaths here. Check your posture. Enjoy this inversion. Good, bend the knees. Hop to the top. Halfway lift. And release. Bend the knees, root to rise. Come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, root to rise. This time, sink into chair, just like before. Deep breath, reach up. Left leg comes up once again, just like before. See if you can capture that shin. Deep breaths here, and to help with stability, fix your gaze onto one unmoving point. Good. Again, see if you can step back without looking into a warrior two. We are in line here on the feet, and we are reaching out with the arms. Pull the navel in and up. Straighten this left leg. Scissor these thighs together. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Send your gaze forward. And again, reaffirm yourself in your goals, in your growth. Deep breaths. On your next inhale, straighten the right leg. Come into reverse triangle, side bend, stretching along this right side. Keeping this left leg straight still. Good. Exhale, come back into warrior two. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Strong legs here, folks. Deep breaths. Good. Deep breath. Windmill this left arm up and overhead. We're going to come back to the earth. Taking a twist here to the right. Closed twist. Reach high. Exhale. Windmill the right arm down. And once again, vinyasa. Take it or leave it. Deep breaths. Bend the knees. Hop to the top. Halfway lift. Exhale, release. Root to rise. And hands to heart center. Exhale. Good, deep breath, root to rise. Just like before, you got this, chair pose. Notice how these shapes feel different as we move through practice. Stronger than before. Straighten up here, inhale, and we're going to lift the right leg. Okay, we're going to hold it here this time. Not capturing the shin, but seeing if we can make a nice 90-degree bend. And then straighten the legs, see if you can point the toes high. Good. See if you can swing that leg now behind you so you're tilting forward through the front body. Open the arms. Keep the toes pointed down, and we're going to try to find a warrior three. We want to be strong and straight through this left leg. One fixed point for your gaze here. Ooh, airplane these arms out behind you. Good, deep breaths here, folks. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, see if we can, with control, come all the way back to how we began. Exhale, come back to standing. Good. Pedal out the ankles, pedal out the feet. We're going to take a deep breath here, and then we're going to exhale into chair pose. We're going to get right into the other side here. Deep breath, and then inhale, reach high to the sky. Okay, exhale, we're going to bring this left leg high again, finding this 90-degree bend, strong and supported. And then straighten the left leg. Make sure we're not collapsing through this right hip, folks. So if you feel that you like drop down when you get standing on this one leg, pull that into socket and keep it supported. Okay, see if you can swing this left leg behind you. Airplane the arms out. Keep those toes dialed down. See how far down we can make this warrior three. We want to stay strong and supported through the core. Keep this left leg straight. Good, deep breaths. Good, with control, see if we can rise all the way back up to where we started. And release. Okay, good work. Bend the knees, root to rise, hands go high. Exhale, bow down. Halfway lift. Exhale, release. We're going to plant the hands, step back. Last chance for vinyasa today, folks. Deep breath here. Find your down dog, deep inversion. Check those elbows. Melt the heart down. Deep breaths. Let the head relax. Good. Right leg is going to lift. Toes stay dialed down. Remember this shape. We were here before. Hold this. And then we're going to exhale, and we're going to bring the right knee to the right wrist. And we're going to find a half pigeon here. So we're going to straighten this left leg all the way back. And the goal is to eventually someday have this right leg parallel to the top of the mat. But if you're not there, that's totally fine. Either way, try to activate this foot, meaning just to keep it engaged. Point the toes to the top of your mat. And I invite everyone to stay here for a second. We want to let the hips drop down without rolling onto this right hip too much. We want to try to stay centered and supported here. And then we're going to take a deep breath. And if you're ready, we can come down a little lower, maybe to the elbows. Notice how it feels in this lower position. And then if you'd like, we can come all the way down. Hands to the mat, forehead to the earth. Wherever you are, make sure that you can breathe. Make sure that the breath is not restricted or you're not holding it. We want to be able to continue constant, strong flow of breath. Good. From here, wherever you are, if you're not this low, that's okay. You can still do this. We're going to roll onto the right glute. Swing this left leg all the way around. If you can't get there in that smooth transition, then go ahead and find your way into this new shape. I'm going to just move so you can see me, but y'all can stay on the mat there. We're going to come into this one leg fold shape here. So we have our foot tucked into the thigh here. We're going to inhale, lift the hands high. Exhale, I want you to fold first from the waist, from the core. Then we can let the back round. The shoulders and the head can come toward the knee. If you don't have a lot of flexibility here, your left leg might be bent like this. That's totally fine. I do encourage you to try to keep these toes pointed to the sky and try to straighten the leg if you can. Let your breath help you here as you exhale. Try to relax a little deeper. If you are into a nice deep stretch down here, other variants I can offer you, no matter where you are actually, I can offer you these variants. We're going to take the right hand to the outer ankle here, and that's going to enhance the stretch along the side body into the hip here. Another variation is take peace fingers with the left hand and hook onto the toe, accentuating a calf and hamstring stretch. Take both variations if you'd like. Just make sure that you can continue those strong, steady breaths and that you're getting a deep stretch. On your next inhale, we're going to use the hands, walk back to an upright position, and then we're going to crisscross the legs and go ahead and come back into a down dog shape so that we can enter that series from the same position. So from here, left leg comes high, point those toes down. Remember, we've been here before. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Find your pigeon on the other side. Again, I encourage everyone to start here up high. Let the hips settle. Notice if it's different on this side. And again, try not to roll onto this left glute. Try to keep this centered. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, you can go ahead and come on down to the elbows. Deep breaths. Maybe you even come all the way down, resting head onto hands or onto the earth. Deep breath here, folks. And then we're going to roll onto this left glute, swing this right leg all the way around, and we're going to go ahead and take a fold on this side. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold from the waist first. Remember, try to keep that flat back as long as you can, and then eventually we'll let the head and shoulders round down. Head to knee pose, or as close as you can get it there. Don't worry if it's not close at all. You might only be here, and that is totally fine. Either way, you want to still try to draw the head to the knee to the best of your ability. And if you explored some variations on your left side, I encourage you to explore similar variations on the right side. And let's take a deep breath. We'll use the hands to walk back to an upright seat. We're going to go ahead and send both the legs straight now. Just take a moment, maybe circle out the ankles if that feels good. Get yourself situated here in the middle of your mat, and we're going to bend the knees, grasp the thighs, and we're going to lean back and come into a little boat pose here. So we wouldn't be bringing fiery energy to practice if we didn't get that core turned on a little bit more here. So if you're able to, bring those shins parallel to the earth, okay? Turn on the core, aim for a flat back here, folks. And maybe you can release the thighs. Maybe you can straighten the legs. Wherever you are, breathe. Acknowledge where you are. And then exhale with control. We're going to, if we can, safely roll down onto the spine. Go ahead and do this. Otherwise, find another way to join us here. Flat on the back. Actually, not flat, though. We're going to bend the knees and push the feet flat into the earth. Deep breaths. We'll set ourselves up for a little bridge pose here. So I want you to have your fingers about an inch or so away from your heels. The feet are about hip width apart here. And again, we want to make sure the knees are not caving in or coming out. They want to be on in line. So again, those joints are all lined up with each other. Push the hands firmly down. Deep breath here, and then lift the hips. We want to think that the hips are lifting to the sky, the heart is lifting to the chin, and then the chin is also lifting to the sky. Deep breaths here. See if you can find this flat back, and try not to look left or right here. We really want to keep the neck still. There could be some damage done to the joints or into some of the more sensitive tissues if we start bending our neck left and right. So just stay still here. The weight should really be driving into the shoulders, not into the neck so much. And then we're going to exhale and lower this bridge. Good. Use the core again, so think driving the navel down to meet the spine. We're going to take a deep breath, turn on the core, and pull the knees into the chest, and then send them high to the sky. A little waterfall here. We did a lot of work in the legs, so we want to just get that blood kind of flowing down the opposite direction. This is a great pose to do if you've been sitting or even standing and walking all day. It's great also to do up against a wall, so you have some support here. And if you need extra support, please feel free to go ahead and grasp behind the thighs. Good. We're going to take a deep breath. And then we're going to exhale, and I want you to squeeze everything in. So grip onto the shins or the ankles. Come into this little ball shape, all right? Again, I like to think of a seed or even like the origins of the universe being compressed into a tiny little tight space. So we're really creating a lot of tension here by pulling everything in, and then even more tension here. I want you to take a deep, deep, deep breath. Feel the abdomen expanding into the thighs. And exhale. Another deep, deep, deep breath. Feel the expansion and the tension. Exhale. One more deep breath, the deepest breath you've taken all day. Inhale. And then slowly, with control, exhale. And we're going to send ourselves long and expand into our final shape here. Corpse pose for Savasana. In this shape, take up space. If your limbs are falling off your mat, that's fine. If there's things in your way, try to move them. It's okay to need space, to take up space. Snuggle your shoulder blades under if that feels good. If you're feeling really cramped up around the neck, snuggle the shoulders under. Tuck the chin to the chest. Notice if you're clenching any of the small muscles of the face. Go ahead and release. Relax the shoulders. Relax the arms and the hands. Notice if you're clenching anything in the pectorals or the abdomen. Let it go. Notice if you're clenching along the spine or the tailbone or the hips. Release those areas and try to relax. Relax the glutes and the thighs. Take a moment to try to still the mind. If thoughts are coming up for you, notice them, acknowledge them, and then either put them away for now, put them on the shelf, drop them to the floor for a moment. You can always come back to them if they are important, but I'd encourage you to take a moment to try to quiet and still the body and the mind. No movements, no thoughts. It's a tall order, but see if you can try. And then if you have not already, release the breath. We're going to just let natural breath come and go now. And feel free to pause the video here and take a longer Savasana. Otherwise, we're going to move the fingers and toes, circle out the wrists and the ankles. And we're going to even roll the limbs a little bit here. I like to get a little more movement in the legs and the arms. And then we've got some options to get up out of this shape. If you are able, come into a little ball shape, and we're going to rock and roll on the spine to come into an upright seat. Otherwise, roll to one side, find a fetal position, and join me upright that way. So we're going to come back into this shape just like we started. I like to close out all of my practices with one Om. It is a sound that resonates in all 7 chakras and is considered to be the primordial sound of the earth. And I think this is extra fitting now here as we have been talking about that renewal of this Aries energy, growth, and the spring season that is upon us. So take a deep breath here, folks. We're going to circle the arms up and overhead, reach high, grasp and cultivate that energy that we created here. It is all around you. And I invite you to pull that into your heart space, to heart center. And from here, we'll take a deep breath. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this Aries practice, and I hope that you will continue to practice with me as we move throughout our astrological year. Thank you.